board members short, so there's plenty of room. Okay.
We're all good to go. Doug, how are you? Good. It's kind of stolen in here, so forgive me.
You'll be great, I'm sure. Just sing in key and you'll be all right.
Good evening, everyone. In for the president tonight. He was unavoidably detained, so you're stuck with me for the evening. Welcome to the first AGM of the Melfort Trade Alliance Chamber of Commerce, this version. I'd like to welcome everybody. It's been a long process developing this, which I have done very little personally. The credit goes to the people behind me and Tyler. So welcome. I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Steve McClellan from the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for coming tonight, sir. And we're going to let you kick things off.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back here on this stage in this good city, and a pleasure to be talking to the Chamber of Commerce, and to all of you, congratulations for the challenges and the rising from the ashes, if you will, of a previous organization. And I couldn't be happier to be here with your first annual general meeting. I want to say thanks to Cam for inviting me up, and I don't get invited back to the same town very often, so it's kind of a thrill for me to actually be here tonight. And as I say, I've been in Melfort a few times over the years, and with this chamber several times, and I'm pleased to be here. So to Cam and all of the board of directors, congratulations on the success and celebrating tonight your first annual general meeting. It's a pivotal point, and I think a critical point for the community and the area of Melfort. So to all of you, congratulations. Now I'm going to talk about a few things, but very quickly, because I understand there's a hockey game starting in an hour, and I don't want to be that person that keeps you too long. So I'll go fairly quickly. I'm going to talk about a variety of things. I'm going to talk a little bit about the chambers in Saskatchewan and some of the things that we're doing, bring you back into the family, if you will. I'm going to talk a little bit about the opportunities that are ahead, and of course, we'll mention a little bit about that thing called COVID, just to make sure that we don't go 4 or 5 minutes in any given day without thinking or worrying of it. But first, let me talk about the chamber network in Saskatchewan. We are stronger than ever. And yes, I know we've just come through a global pandemic, and I know businesses are struggling. But the analogy that we've used and the saying that I love is that chambers of commerce are little hinges that swing really big doors. And by that, what we mean is simply this, that a chamber is no authority to regulate taxes. It has no authority to tell a community council what to do. It has no authority really other than to advocate on the members' behalf. But our little hinges swing really big doors, because the voice of business focused through a Chamber of Commerce can deliver amazing results. And what we've seen in the last 2 years across the country and across this province is that our little chambers, across this province particularly, have done amazing things. We have dug deep at times where we didn't know where our revenues were coming, and where on one phone call we were talking to a business who was crying on our shoulder, and on the other we were talking to a new entrepreneur who couldn't be more excited to open up a business in this time that others thought were unsettled. So we have 10,000 businesses across the province that are members of their local chamber or provincial chamber. We advocate, of course, like nobody else does as chambers on behalf of our communities. There's other business groups in this province and in this country, but none of them care as much about the Melfort community and the wellness of your community as does this Chamber of Commerce. So remember that when you're looking at how you can assist or help develop it. Nobody cares as much about Melfort as this Chamber of Commerce, and that's where your support should be. A couple of things I'm very proud of over the last 2 years that we've been able to achieve with our partner chambers in this Saskatchewan, throughout the province. We have each and every year $1 million of chamber insurance monies, administration monies, that go to the local chambers across the province, and you get a slice of that as well. And so I reference that because it's an important way for you to generate revenues, but it's more important of a way for you to generate sustained members. And by doing so, you keep your families of your employer businesses healthy and happy, and with a good benefit plan, of course, they're more likely to stick with you. But that's $1 million that come to the chambers just out of that program in Saskatchewan. We also, the Chamber Network, launched 2 Shop Local programs this past year. The Regina Chamber coordinated one through the provincial government for $1 million to tell Saskatchewan people how important it was to shop local for a great pizza or any other pharmacy product like a Shoppers Drug Mart. Knowing full well that our businesses were under some stress, that program was very, very useful. We've just completed a second $1 million program funded by the federal government that has been done with the chambers across the province as well. Each of those programs put not only program money into their pockets as the local chamber, but it also, most importantly, put some actual administration dollars as well. So $2 million of Shop Local delivered through the local chambers in this past year. We did what was called the 10 program, the Training and Employment Network, $225,000 to do labor market development, because that labor market still is, but certainly was very volatile. We did a program called Grab Your Slice, $75,000 in total, funded by the province, where we were able to do seminars to tell businesses who were too busy during the day to really look into the grant programs that were available primarily by the federal government. We said, here's what it is, here's an expert advice. And so you can look into it now and see if you're eligible. And that program, we think, brought hundreds of thousands of dollars of relief to businesses across Saskatchewan. So we've put over $2.5 million into the Chamber Network. We help facilitate some of it, but the Chamber Network, as I said, those small hinges swung really big doors. Each of these delivered programs and dollars to the local chambers for administration, and of course, most importantly, it provided benefit to the members of all of those chambers. And we're looking at options in the next year that will include always the Chamber Insurance Program, and I say to my Chamber colleagues behind me here as the board to make sure that every chance you get an opportunity to say, look at the Chamber Insurance Program, do it heavily, because it not only makes dollars, it makes sense. The other program that we're working on the development of right now is the Digital Presence for Business. I won't go into this in great detail because of time tonight, but here's the reality. RBC, early in the pandemic, said we are at risk as Canadian citizens, as a Canadian business community, of losing more businesses after COVID than we lost through, because those businesses may not be ready and to serve their customers in a digital world. Now, digital does not mean that you can order a pizza online. That's part of it, but it means you have to have a digital presence. If somebody says tires in Melfort, what's going to show up? You might get the ads from online tire shops and so on. What do we want to have happen is the actual tire shops in town here. If you're not present on the internet, you're not going to be found. And even those people that are sitting home right now and in the last 10 minutes ordered something on an online system, they're still looking for products and services that could be delivered here. And if you're not there to make it easy for them, you're going to be not part of that financial transaction. For our businesses to be sustainable, we need to find ways to do it. Now, some of you, not many of you in this room, are if you're as old as me, you go, well, I'm not so sure about that. To use a line from the Dog River shirt, the interweb. If you're not that familiar with the internet and you're not a person who's going to create a website, here's the reality. There's an 18-year-old kid or a 16-year-old kid in town who would love to do it. And that's $50 a week that you gave them would be thrilling. They'll keep your Facebook handy. They'll keep your Facebook current, and they'll make it look good. And Instagram, you never heard of, there it is. You're going to be on it. All of those things can be achieved. And if you don't look into them, and we don't as a province get digitally savvy, we're going to be out of business. And some of you, again, I use my age as the definer, would say, really, I'm not that good at that stuff. I don't like that kind of change. The line I'd give you is this. If you've learned nothing from COVID, you should learn this. If you don't like change, you're really going to hate irrelevance. Remember that, because the digital world is how people are buying, how people are shopping, and how people are ordering everything nowadays, whether it's on their phone or their laptop. If you're not there, the customers will never find you. So you've put your chamber as a community back together. You were the one city in the province that didn't have an active chamber until a little while ago, and we, again, as I said, we welcome you back into the family of chambers across the province. Now, let's talk about COVID for just a moment. There's some very real challenges, there's no question. We've all worn masks, and comfortably so, because of the challenge, and we know the challenges of not wearing them. We must remain advocates as chambers, I believe, we believe as an organization, for vaccines for all that can get them. And the good news is we will be distributing vaccines as a province to our school-aged kids in the next months. I want to encourage the use of rapid tests and thank CAM and your Chamber of Commerce for distribution of those today and over the next few weeks, as well as the Canalta hotels across the province stood tall and said, yeah, we have people at the front desk, we'll assist with that as well. A rapid test, in my experience this past week, distributing at our office in Regina, was an amazing experience. People were so appreciative of the Chamber stepping up and making this delivery accessible. So parents came in for their kids and their grandkids. We had a transplant patient come in and was so thrilled that she could finally test herself. She was vaccinated, but she wanted to be able to test herself. All of those sort of people came to our front doors as they did to CAM's today, and thank you for participating in that as a Chamber of Commerce. But the role for us as businesses to get through this is to follow the rules of the province, to encourage our family and friends and employees to get vaccinated, and we will get through it. And we hope this winter we will see COVID in the rearview mirror. Quickly about the businesses across the province. You have a pretty good idea what your business is doing in your community, of course, but a quick overview, something you know of course, that we had a challenging year in many ways with agriculture. We had a drought. And with global weather habits changing, we may see more, but nevertheless we had one this year. And with larger farms, if there's a blessing for really large farms, it's that some of these farms were 20 and 30 miles apart, had distinctive weather patterns. So you get flooded out on one farm and drought on the other, but through the middle you might have made a little money. But ag is challenged, but the perseverance of our farmers has led us through it. Potash, solid overall. Markets are solid. Oil is very profitable with higher prices and less cost because they learned how to go as efficient as possible. Manufacture is doing very well, but it's challenged by the supply chain issues, and I'll speak to that more in just a second. When you've got a $30 or $80 or $200 or $600,000 piece of equipment, it can't be delivered because you've got a $37 piece that can't get to Canada. That's a challenge. Other sectors like canola crushing, pulp and paper all have positive developments coming across the province, PA, Regina, and of course our exports of pulses is and will remain very positive. Some big issues, as I referenced a minute ago, are supply chains. People are experiencing it in all sectors. As I said, farm machinery, big combines can't be delivered in some situations because of the challenges of one piece of equipment. Cars, if you can find a brand new car these days, you're pretty lucky. The car sellers have done a really good job of saying, come on in and order your car, which is a clever way to say, we can't get it to you right now, but come on in and order it. And they found ways around it. The other piece that's interesting to me is hotel linens. Hotels have not been busy over the last couple of years, and so their linen stocks went down. And when they went to get them from often China or Bangladesh, they would order through their suppliers. They couldn't get them across. So they have to wash sheets and put them on. Gives the term hot sheeting a whole new meaning, if any of you are familiar with that. Biggest issue right now we hear across the province, we spoke of it a few minutes ago, is staffing. Some people are correct in this, that CERB and EI has kept some people on couches and not in the workforce. But the bigger issue isn't that people are on the government programs. It's that they've made choices. Their family has lived on one income, or they've said, I need to stay home because of childcare. On any given week, I don't know whether my kids are going to be at school or at home, so for me to go into work. And sometimes they can only offer me part-time shifts, and it's just not enough to make that commitment. So daycare, childcare, and inconsistency is part of it. But we in Saskatchewan need to encourage ourselves and those individuals we know to get to work because we need them to go to work. From north to south, east to west, every sector is looking for people. I hear tonight about pharmacists, and I know about the food and beverage sector. People need to go to work when they can. Many people have adjusted their lives. Their work is different. Some people want to work from home, and again, as I've said, sometimes one income was just enough and away they go. And it's also been 2 years. And we think about things, if I was to, for example, play rugby on a weekend, that does not make me a rugby player. That makes me probably an acute patient in a hospital, quite frankly. But when you do something for 2 years, almost 2 years, that's more than a habit. That's what you do now. And those that didn't work or changed their shifts, that's the world that we're living in. But those are opportunities for our young people who are 16 and 18 and 24 years old. And it also it's an opportunity for retirees to say, you know what, I could go to work. There was a real great story out of North Battleford with Tim Hortons where they had a 91-year-old guy doing table cleaning. Loved it. Highlight of his day. People came to see him. And when you're 91 in North Battleford, you know a lot of people. Good for business. And it gave him a purpose, and it gave them a worker who could clear the tables when nobody else would. So our young people, when I was 16, I worked at an A&W. Now my kids never worked at fast food. They didn't want to do that. We need them to do it again because we need those workers. And whether it's retail or fast food or some sort of administration, they could do Facebook. We need them to come off the couches and do some of those things. We need to be creative. We need to recognize that changing hours and types of work is critical to our success as a business. A couple of things I want to emphasize about big opportunities. And you, as a, relatively speaking, new chamber, reborn, you've got nothing but opportunities ahead. And by focusing through the windshield rather than the rear view mirror, you will find those opportunities. And every single day in my job, I'm blessed where I hear stories of businesses who found creative ways to do things better than they did a month or a week or a year ago. And even though COVID has given us some challenges, the opportunities and the time that we've taken to explore them have provided such amazing results that I can't be, I would rather have not gone through COVID, but I'm tickled pink with some of the successes that we've seen. Two areas I want to reference. One I just did was digital presence. If you as a business are not digitally present, you need to get there. And I don't care whether you sell audio, video equipment and presentation materials, pizzas, tires, or pharmaceuticals. You have to have a presence and a constant presence. And if it's nothing else than to say tonight when the Melfort teams win the game that you put on your social media, good news, the Mustangs won, you're present and you're active and people are seeing it. And if you don't invite people to come to your business, they will find another business to go to. That's the first one. Second is Indigenous engagement. 2 years ago, just before March 2020, we launched our Indigenous Engagement Charter. The world changed soon after, but we pivoted too. We know in Saskatchewan it's as simple as this. There's a 90, I'm a Saskatchewan guy, struggle on the B word. I said million. It's a $90 billion opportunity if we can take our Indigenous population and transform them to the education, therefore economic levels of the rest of the population in their lifetime. It's a $90 billion gain for Saskatchewan. Now, I'll run for a lot less money than that, but when I heard it was a $90 billion opportunity, we looked seriously at it. We've created an Indigenous Engagement Charter. We have a full-time staffer who's our director of that. We've done training. Last summer, we did 1,300 people on virtual training because they couldn't come to an in-person setting, which worked well because we could have a person or a business from Melfort send employees from Meadow Lake, from Maple Creek, and from Maryvale. And they could all attend the session virtually by dialing in. The opportunities there, ladies and gentlemen, are significant. Our charter gives a path forward, and we're very thrilled with the results. We've created an Indigenous business directory, over 500 Indigenous-owned businesses, and people are visiting that website every single day. It's our second biggest visited page on our website. Now, finally, what's ahead for you as the Trade Alliance and the Chamber of Commerce? One is, I'd say, shorten your name or Cam is going to run out of energy just answering the phone. But the future, I would suggest, ladies and gentlemen, looks bright, even though I know I'm standing in the middle of a global pandemic. Even though I know that as we go into winter, we're unsure of what Christmas will be, and what the season of the early winter will bring us. But I know that the future of this chamber looks bright. You bring your neighbors into the tent of this Chamber of Commerce. You invite the businesses you do business with here and in the area into this chamber tent. You will see shared success. And by bringing them together, you will share opportunities. You will understand each other's issues and challenges, and you will do as chambers have done for well over 100 years in this province, is to help make each other stronger. You will host events, and I'd encourage you over time where people can connect online or in person, as you're doing tonight with some of you in the room. There's 3,000 people in the room and many more at home. But the bottom line is we can do it virtually now because we learned that that's the way people want to do it. Sometimes you want to sit in your easy chair at home. Sometimes you want to come out to the event. But as chambers, we can do that sort of thing and provide not only information and insight, and some people who want the social interaction will come out to the events on their own. You can be the connector to the mayor and the MP and the MLAs in your area and your community, of course, and your reeves to say, come out and tell our members what's going on. Now, all of you or some of you might say, listen, I don't have to listen to the mayor. He lives down the street. I see them. Our MLA I know well. Indeed, you will. But have you ever had a report from City Council about what they're doing? Bring it to a chamber event and your members, I'll guarantee you half the room will go, I didn't know that. So at the end of that event, if it's a luncheon or a breakfast or after work, you want those people that were in the room or online to go to their friends and family or back to work and go, you know what I heard at the chamber luncheon? I didn't know this. And now and that's what chambers do. We connect ideas and insight. And then if they're upset with something or they love something, they will say, listen, I'm upset with that or I love that. And they'll use you as the connector to make that information shared. Awards programs and training sessions can all be of help to you, and we can work on those things together. Now, the thing about a chamber is to make yourself relevant to your members. You will find growth in membership, in revenue, and most importantly, you'll increase in value in the eyes of the people of this area, of the businesses that are here today and the ones that will be here tomorrow. And that's what a chamber does, and I wish you nothing but the best in doing it. I want to say thanks again for being kind enough to invite me back tonight. I wish you very, very great things on your second, third, fourth, and fifth year. And if we at the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce can assist you, we are only a phone call away. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, Steve, for taking time out of what I'm sure is a very busy schedule to come and be here tonight. And I really enjoyed that speech. And I'm just going to pause for 1 minute and clarify something with our secretary, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Just clarifying a couple things. Number 4 on the agenda tonight is the approval of resolution of directors. I would like to call on someone to make a motion to accept that. Rayanne Praske, seconder. Darren Bandaga. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Carried. Number 5, approval of the minutes from the AGM, October 27th of 2020. Thank you. Seconder, Rayanne Praske. Any discussion on the minutes from the previous AGM? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving them? Carried. Okay, number 6, I'm going to call on our Executive Director, Cam Lee, to take the microphone and do his bit.
Good evening, everyone. I am doing the financial statements this evening for the period ending December 31st, 2020. Our treasurer is not available to be here this evening, and the print is very small, so if you see me squinting, I apologize. Okay, let's see here. So essentially what I will let you know is that the financial assets, the operating account at the end of 2020 were $34,857. The year prior was $28,000. I need progressive lenses apparently. $28,279. The revenues from 2020 were $16,582 compared to $11,241 the previous year. Expenditures were $10,433 compared to $7,281, and the excess of revenues over expenditures was $6,100 compared to $3,962 the year prior. Net assets end of year was $34,000, $34,200. Let's try that again. $34,428. The previous year was $28,279. Cash at the end of the year, $34,857, $28,279 again from 2019. And that is essentially the numbers that I have for this evening. Do I do a motion to approve the expenditures, the year ending 2020? Rayanne is... do I have a seconder? Okay. We'll go with Heidi. All in favor? Carried. Motion to accept the unaudited financial statement for the year ending 2020. Okay, Doug has put up his hand. Do I have a seconder? Darren. And all in favor? Carried. And a motion to waive the official audit for the year ending 2021. Do I have a volunteer here? That's Rayanne. Do I have a seconder? Darren. And all in favor on that one? Okay, I believe that was carried as well. Apologies once again. For our Promotion Committee report, essentially what I'm going to say tonight is that we are looking for people to be involved in our promotions. We have, oh heck, where did it go? I had it in my report. Regardless, we are looking for 3, I guess, nominees for 3 promotion committees. And I'm trying to find which committees they are, and they slipped my mind as to which ones they are. Have you got it there, Heidi? I thought I had it in my report, but I can't seem to find it. Okay. I guess just the promotional committee at this point. Is there anyone here that is interested in being part of the promotional committee? Ah, excellent. Nathan from Prairie North Co-op. Yes, if there is anyone else or you know of anyone that is interested in being part of the promotion committee, we would love to have them. We have a couple of other committees as well, and we can talk about that at another point as well. I'll move on to my executive director's report. As you know, so far, my name is Cam Lee. I'm the executive director of the Melfort Trade Alliance Chamber of Commerce. And I'm excited to bring you the executive director's report this evening. The Melfort Trade Alliance became a Chamber of Commerce back in January of 2021, for those that are unfamiliar. After a few years of trying to establish itself as a chamber, they pulled the trigger and became one in January of 2021, got approval. The board of directors' next decision was to hire an executive director, and I was hired back in April. So as we all know, as business owners and just employees and everybody else, COVID has had a huge effect on life in the past 2 years, both in 2020 and 2021, and the Melfort Trade Alliance Chamber of Commerce was no exception, and before that, the Melfort Trade Alliance. The mandate to limit group sizes and indoor gatherings has left us with few options for holding fundraising events and other events. But after the regulations did relax at one point, we did hold our downtown show and shine, along with a touch of truck this year at the same time at the Melfort Mall. So 750 Beach Radio and 105 CJVR were proud sponsors of the event that was held August 6th of this year. And I think it was a great event. We weren't really sure what we would face going into it, whether there would be a lot of crowds or a lot of interest as far as car enthusiasts. It was beyond what I thought, and I'm sure beyond what the board thought as well. There were 103 vehicles that were registered in all, which is a great number, and if we do that in the future, we'll be happy. Almost as important, if not more important, though, was the amount of foot traffic going through downtown, both in an interactive sense, going to look at all the cars, of course, and all the vehicles, but just seeing what downtown Melfort has to offer as far as businesses and things like that, and also down at the Melfort Mall with the touch-a-truck and all the places in between. So we were very happy to hold the event, and the car show helped raise over $1,600 for the Melfort Trade Alliance Chamber of Commerce. In June, we held a networking event outside at Memorial Gardens. We didn't have the crowd that we had hoped, but it didn't help that it was like 35 degrees that night, so it was unseasonably warm, and hopefully we'll hold more of those very soon in the future, whether they are not likely outside over the next few months, but hopefully inside or even by Zoom if things change as far as COVID goes. Another initiative was begun in November of 2020 when our president, Tyler Fallman, and others on the board heard about the federally funded program, as referred to by Steve earlier, to promote shopping locally. The idea came together in August as the Live, Shop, Play, Invest Northeast Saskatchewan initiative. Through our chamber, as well as the chambers in Nipawin and Tisdale, we all kind of put our heads together and got our feet on the ground, and it was the response was just amazing in all three centers. 16 videos were shot for local businesses and organizations to showcase them to a larger audience. We have the videos on YouTube. They're awesome. Check out our YouTube channel. We've put the videos on our social media and YouTube channel, and the videos, along with those shot in Nipawin and Tisdale, have been featured in commercials as well on CTV and ads on Bell Media. The businesses in the campaign will also be featured through commercials on 750 Beach Radio and 105 CJVR in the future, and online at northeastnow.com. So what turned out to be a relatively small investment from these businesses really, I think, became something that benefited them probably more than anything that they could have bought for that kind of money. So we're really proud of the way it turned out, and I think the businesses were happy the way things turned out as well. There's a lot to do in the coming months, planning for some sort of Christmas shopping event. We will stay tuned. We're still working on the details of that. COVID is affecting what we can and can't do, of course, but we will do what we can. We've also, in the last few months, advocated on behalf of local businesses. I've held a number of media interviews about masking, asking the public not to take their frustration about the masking mandates out on local businesses and the employees within those businesses. I'm also enthusiastic as well that we've, as a chamber, renewed our relationship with the City of Melfort, and look forward to keeping the lines of communication open. We do have a City Councillor, Tara Montaigne, as a city liaison that attends our board meetings and is available for feedback from us. And of course, if you ever have any questions of us, you can take them back to the city and the council as well. I'll touch on membership after the report, but I will say the work done by the Melfort Trade Alliance board in 2020 helped us build even more in 2021, and look forward to continuing to grow our membership and support. That's all for the report, but this from this evening. But if you have any questions anytime, just feel free to contact me, whether it's by email or by phone. I'm always available and always able to answer any questions I can. So thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't realize the membership report was literally right after my report. The membership report, membership right now, I will say we have, we started the year of 2020, or the end of 2020 with 26 businesses and groups part of the Melfort Trade Alliance. And right now we have 44 memberships in the Melfort Trade Alliance Chamber of Commerce, so 18 businesses and organizations joined us this year. We do have 4 free memberships as well to local businesses that are new to the area. That is one of the initiatives that was started this year, and I think in the future that will really pay off dividends, just to get them kind of to learn about what we have to offer and for us to offer anything that we can to them. 2020 membership collected $8,853.25. This year's membership up until the end of September was $5,453.63, and through the chamber plan, insurance through September 2021 paid $1,494.76. So that is the membership report. Do we need to pass that? Pardon me? Okay, we need a motion to pass the membership report. That's Rianne. Seconder is Doug. All in favor? Okay, passed. New business, election of directors for the corporation.
Thanks, Cam. We are currently looking for 3 directors for the board. So are there any nominations from the floor at this time? Tara? Do we have a seconder? Oh, sorry. Lloyd, would you accept that nomination? Yes, sir. Do you accept the nomination, Nathan? Okay. Any other nominations from the floor? Would you like to? We.
You make a call 3 times for any further nominations.
more nominations from the floor? Going once? Going twice? Going 3 times?
Call for a motion to cease nominations.
We need a motion to cease nominations. Rayanne Praske, seconder. Darren Bandaga, all in favor? Carried. Motion to approve the nominations. Darren Bandaga, seconder. Rayanne. Well, welcome to the board. Thank you. Yes, welcome. I think we'll work well together, and that's about it.
So the next thing we wanted to talk about is Welcome Wagon. The person who used to run it, has retired and no longer does it, but we've been thinking that it's maybe something that we should have back in our community because it could be really positive for the chamber to get more exposure. So we thought we would discuss it tonight and try and figure out what your feelings are. Does anybody have any thoughts? And Cam hasn't had a chance yet to reach out to some of the people that we had suggested. We definitely want to be in contact with the local realtors in town because they will know the people that are moving into town. But like Nathan, you're new to town. Would that be something that would help you? Okay, well, that's definitely something we will continue to pursue as a board. Yes. Okay. You mean Welcome Wagon being available? Well, we would love to make it so it could be. Yeah, definitely. Good. Very good. We will be in touch. Okay. Do you have any announcements, Jen? Anybody? Actually, yes. Okay, good.
I do have one brief announcement. Steve touched on it earlier, the distribution of rapid tests. We started today from 1 to 5 p.m. at the historic post office in southwest entrance. We were given, I believe it was 670 tests. We're down to probably less than 320. So the response was fantastic today. Steve had said that many communities have sold out already. But I will be distributing those again on Thursday starting at 10 a.m. until probably around 5 p.m. or until I run out, whichever comes first. So just to let you know, I will be distributing rapid tests again on Thursday at about 10 a.m. Until 5 p.m. or until the tests run out. There is one per family. I will give 2 out to people that are representing someone that is not available to come at that time. Steve had also mentioned the Canalta hotels are part of the rapid test distribution. And I know Sean Russin, the CEO of Canalta in Melfort, had emailed me today saying that they did have some tests. So you can check with them to see if they still do as well, if you need one before Thursday. So just to let people know that that will be taking place again on Thursday as far as the chamber goes, and to keep your ear and eye out. And I will let you know if we run out before a certain time. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Do I have to get approval for that? A motion to adjourn. There you go. Rayanne makes a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much for this evening. Thanks for coming out.